Lesson 11. Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre was an orphan. She lived with her aunt, Miss Reed. Mrs. Reed had 2 daughters and 1 son. Her son's name was John. John was a spoiled boy. He often bullied Jane and even beat her. Jane was unhappy in her aunt's family. Later, Jane was sent to a boarding school. Life in the school was very hard. She stayed there for 15 years, first as a student and later as a teacher. Then she became a governess in Mr. Rochester's manor in Lowood. She tutored his daughter, whose French mother had left her. One night, Mr. Rochester's bedroom was set on fire by a mad lady living in the manor. Jane saved Mr. Rochester's life from the fire. Jane and Mr. Rochester fell in deep love with each other. They decided to get married. At the wedding, someone came and revealed a secret. The mad lady was actually Mr. Rochester's wife. Jane had to leave Lowood sadly. Later, she inherited a fortune from her uncle and got rich. She heard Mr. Rochester calling her in her dream one night. She came back to the manor. The house had been burned down in a fire. Mr. Rochester himself was blinded in the fire. Jane and Mr. Rochester still loved each other deeply. They got married. A year later, Mr. Rochester regained his sight to some extent. They had a baby and lived happily together.